Hello everyone, it's Resler, and welcome to Colonize. King requires your service. I don't think that's part of the title, I think that's just the little add-on here. Store page says Colonize. This game is not available yet, it's coming, but it's currently not available. This is the demo. Let me be clear about that. And so it's limited in the features. These apparently are all coming. So this is the prologue, mind you. So apparently there are all these places that you can go to. Plymouth is the only one available. We'll play Plymouth.
We labored to rid the Church of England of the vestiges of papal influence. Despised as Puritans, we suffered persecution and were forced into exile. In the year of our Lord, 1620, we left Europe on a religious mission to establish a godly government. In Plymouth, we boarded Mayflower, an ark that would carry us to the promised land. Soon, we were besieged on all sides by the treacherous ocean. Scurvy and fear of imminent death accompanied us for the remainder of our journey. We barely reached the New World alive after months on the high seas. The fear of retribution plagued our minds. Our countrymen had already warred with local tribes over this land. Many of us, too, believed we were not destined to share it. Famine and sickness struck our colony. We resorted to stealing food from the natives. The whole settlement feared the violent wrath of their war parties. Instead, one of them befriended us. Squanto spoke our language. Despite previously having suffered in slavery at the hands of our kind, he arranged for us to trade with the people of the First Light, thus saving our very lives. They introduced us to the beauty and bounty of our unforgiving surroundings. But most settlers still refused to see them as equals. Others would only deal with them if they commit to his word. Shall peace be sustained by sturdy plowshares or instruments of warfare?
Well, that's that, I guess. So we've this to load here. There we go. First colonies were about survival in the wild and the inhospitable environment of New England. Deaths were frequently caused by hunger and many diseases in our game. Colonies, we try to bring the difficult lives of the first colonies. Gradually, we'll add more and more content, threats, and adjust the currency of the game to ensure the greatest experience for you, our players. However, we will remain faithful to the history and the way of life in the first colonists in the 17th century. Next. So we will be, you're the governor of the first permanent successful colony, Plymouth. But success and survival were not certain for the first years following its establishment. Sacrifice, hard work, and most importantly, maintaining good relations with natives were key to survival. The local tribes of the Wampanoag, I'm sorry if I get that wrong, Massachusetts, and the Narragansett people who lived there before the arrival of the Europeans were the main reason for the survival of the colony. Therefore, do not forget to maintain good relations with native tribes. Your job as governor is to take care of your people so that they always have enough food, warm clothes, and most importantly, income to repay our debt to the home company that paid for the trip on the Mayflower. Twisquantum, or Sequanto, an English-speaking Native American and member of the Pawtucket tribe, was our chief advisor in these first months. Without his help, we can never survive, so watch out and follow his advice. Let's start building a colony. First of all, people have already built storage. Then we can store all our building materials or goods that cannot be kept in the cellar, which they've also built for the storage of food. The public house is the place for the homeless people. Build more houses so citizens can move in. Start families. Our people also built an inn, which will provide them with food when they are not working. Okay, no, we're not going to run the tutorial because I actually already ran the tutorial before doing this. So we got all these things. So this is the build menu down here. And this has got pretty much, a lot of the basics that you'd expect in a build menu. So there's the woodcutter, And essential every settlement chops trees and produces wood for buildings and further processing. So we'll put that one right there. Then we'll get a sawmill going. So sawmill right here. And then a quarry is essential. People will mine stone from the mountains, thus the quarry can be built in certain locations. So the quarry goes down into the depths of the earth. You can build it essentially anywhere. It's a matter of output, so to speak. So we will let's see here. Rotate the quarry and put it right. Well, we need workers, and we don't have tons of workers. So people are going to build these. Actually, hold on a second. So the cellar. Cellar, we're going to take a few people from there. And then you can adjust work time. So from 9 to 5, that works. 7 to 4, that works. When's the inn open? 4 to... let's go 4 to midnight. Yeah. Okay. Then let's... Dwelling. So this is a house. So these we want to build. So we'll put a house here, and here, and here. And then farm is probably a pretty good idea. We'll put a farm, rotate the farm around, put a farm here. And then we'll do paths. Paths are always good. So paths in this game are actually somewhat, shall we say, essential. They are kind of important. Okay. So yeah, here I'll come all the people out of the shelter, and they will start working. So you don't necessarily, from what I gathered, assign jobs, so to speak. You basically assign the amount of workers, and then you go from there. And the way you find out if people have jobs is you go like this. So you look at the population overview. This has the people, their ages, their genders, and if they're married or not. So we have quite a few single males. We only have 2 single females. And you can see everyone, range of the ages are about, we got the youngest at 19, it seems, and the oldest would be 32. So yeah, so fairly young colonists, but you know, and these houses are probably going to be at least prioritized, you would think, for married couples that can produce children, as is the 17th century way. Let's actually get him working a little bit earlier and getting off a little bit earlier. You can also trade, mind you, and you do that by clicking on the ship right there. And trading is instant, so if you were going to trade, you would see here, council, fortune game, shop. That's where you do it. So, and there's no militia either, but that will come. So there are quite a few things that are still probably not going to be available in this in the tutorial right away. And we are running low on planks, and the reason we don't have very many planks is because, well, we have planks. We have quite a few bits of planks, but the sawmill produces planks. So, it's essentially the sawmill built. So actually, let's, the woodcutter's already working. And such, what are we looking at in terms of jobs? Okay, let's put another worker. Here. Actually, let's not. Let's wait for right now. You know, let's actually get a quarry built. That's probably a good idea. That, yeah. Yeah, so these houses are coming along quite well. Look at in terms of planks, okay. Do we have enough planks for all these houses? Not quite. Let's get the sawmill. Let's set the sawmill to maximum priority so we get all the planks there. That way we can produce more planks. We don't have to buy as many. Because they're not bringing anything to the sawmill except wood. No stone or planks. So they got both of them there now. Good, sorry, they got all the, well, now they got both. They got stone and wood. They got all the wood needed. Now they're adding the stone into it. So you can see people carrying things. And they're so more than it has the date, so it's 1621. It's 22.7 Celsius. I'm pretty sure that can be changed to Fahrenheit, but we'll keep it on Celsius for now. We got 100 gold coins. Up here, oh, we had a mouse. We had that mouse over for a bit. That wood. And we got all these tabs. So, water. Pretty sure that 12 is, oh, there you go. So, I have to build an expedition office first, which I believe is somewhere in here. This is production. Expedition building. So there it is. That's what it looks like. That's going to hold on for now. Okay. get that built, everyone else will build everything else that they need here. So you got that almost done. It's mainly the stone that's needed now, and we got plenty of stone, so there's something to be said about that. Whoops. Let's have you guys start at 8 a.m. No, 8 o'clock. So now they're starting to get stones there. Let's actually speed this up. And such, so it's currently it's currently 6:30. It looks like most people are done for the day. This guy will be done at 8 o'clock. They're done at 5 o'clock. They're done at 9 o'clock. So it looks like, let's see here. It's almost 8 o'clock, so almost everyone is done for the day. And no one works in the sawmill, so. So it's 8 o'clock. Let's speed it up overnight, kind of like in The Sims. Which, if you haven't been keeping tabs on The Sims, an expansion that is the high school years is coming out soon. So that's something to think about there. We have these houses. So that's that. Let's pull population overview. So we have quite a few people here. There we go. They're supposed to fill jobs single-handedly, but I did remember I was sitting here looking at it, probably looking like a fool and being very quiet. Sorry about that. And then I was remembering that is right. I did remember in the tutorial you can actually, if they aren't filling them themselves, you can actually go, okay, well, I will fill them. I will manually choose, you know, who's going to work where and when. So we are about to hit 7 o'clock, which means, yep, there it is. The cellar. That opens at 8, that opens at 10. So at 8 o'clock, which is now, back to the resources and building things. Let's slow it down a little bit here. So we're going to make a considerable amount of corn. And then make 5 things of wheat. Wheat. There. So there's that. So let's get someone working in that. Let's get one of our women, who all seem to be married now. Oh, that's good. Was Erica Fuller. Let's get Olivia Carlson. Working on the farm. You know, in fact, let's have her husband work with her. So, yeah, let's get her husband working with her. So, Francis Carlson. Yeah, well for crops. Okay. Okay, whoa. I need to find the well. I forgot about the well. There it is. We got the stones, right? Good. And so now you see, we got houses, so we got people living in the houses. We still got people in the shelter, but we only have 6 people in the shelter. So okay, yeah. So these are the Carlsons, the Fullers, and the Hodges. I believe everyone is married. No, not everyone is married. Sorry, but the single females are off the market, so to speak. So, which is interesting because we had 2. So and the well is finished. Should probably look into another farm, or a pig farm, or a hunter. Is that a pig? couches and the floors had kids. Let's put this out here. As that seems to be where most of the game that we at least are seeing is centered around. Carlson is born. And people are having kids left and right. We need to get some more houses. Get some more people. Let's put another house right here across from this one to foster a community. Should have put the well somewhere else. I could probably relocate the well. It was just a matter of quickness needed. Can we relocate buildings? Is a good question. Can like I move it? No? Well, let's see. We need to get the quarry built, and we don't have very many planks. Or enough planks right now. We got 13 planks. We need 14 more here, but the sawmill is producing quite nicely. Carlson, man. Gosh, they're gonna outgrow their houses soon. I mean, we have a bunch of their children, but still. So they can't work yet. Because they're age 0, but I'm sure have a lot of people. Another farm might be in order actually to handle the influx of population. But I'm not on board with doing that just quite yet. Wait on that, so to speak. So, might need another well before long. People are really using that well. Let's only get. I'm not going to fill the quarry completely, but I am going to put some guys in there. So Fuller, I'm going to have you be in the quarry as well. Just 2 of you, from 8 to 6, 10 hours. Why is no one working in the inn? That's not good. Hey, Ellie, we're going to put you in the inn. There. So we're short on laborers, which is a shame, but it's necessary. So we have 1, 2, 3 laborers. Was all this? You need more. You all need more food. Well, you know what? Wow. Look, we're doing the best we can. Okay. Got people here growing food. Corn out of 50. Okay. Clearly, wheat is Seller's got lots of food. Not sure what the problem is. Go get food. Look at this. I'm trying to figure out why you're hungry. Hmm. Not sure why there's a food problem. There's plenty of food in storage. And it's not as if the food is being kept from all of you. But wow, the Carlsons have almost filled their house up. They got 4. Other bigger houses. Not really. This be a lesson to all of you to not have tons of children when you're colonizing the world. So we're gonna try and grow as much food as possible here and put it in the cellar. It looks like we're full on corn. Not on potatoes though, which I tasked. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the problem is with people needing food, because the cellar, which is where the food at the center of the colony is packed with food. I mean, there's tons of food there. I mean, people must not like corn, meat, bread, or fish, because we have plenty of all of it. So I'm at a loss. Fellowship. Tonight, let's speed it up. Hodge is born. So they're also filling it up. And the Carlsons have filled their house completely. Carlson is born. We don't. What happens when you outgrow your house, when you have too many kids in this game? I mean, is that, a thing? It's raining. It is August, but still. And the rain stops. So we're looking at here in terms of warehouse. No planks, got some stone. No wood. Plenty of firewood. Trading might be in order. What are you looking at in terms of kids' ages? So they're all 2s. How many kids? What's the composition of kids here? It looks like we have. Oops. Looks like we had Girl, 2 boys, another girl, another boy, men. Looks like a pretty even mix. Maybe a few more men than boys than girls, but they're all now, except for the who's this? The Carlsons. I thought these were the Carlsons. Okay, I stand corrected. The Fullers and the Hodges are the people with sent the kids. The Carlsons are almost full, though, as well. Because they're too busy working on the farm. I like that you're spraying out the planks, but you should probably take them to this house. We'll speed that up again. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of land to expand on. So I'm assuming, some of these maps are different, obviously, like Bermuda and things like that, more tropical. There's probably different economies based on that. I'm guessing, that there probably is. Well, I know there's fishing. I mean, there's a fishery that you can build, but yeah. So you can build this anywhere, and they'll go to the nearest water source. So, um, so I'm guessing. Yeah, you should probably build it somewhere like that, like there. Let's see. There's the well. There's the farm. There's the mill. That's for baking bread. There's the bakery. That's the byproduct of the mill. There's the pig farm. There's the chicken farm. And there's, so we've gone over most of the buildings. When it comes to dwellings, there's the shelter. We have one of those. There's a church. Well, this is not dwellings. This is, well, it is the dwelling, but I don't know if you live in a church necessarily. But it's kind of that building. And there's the inn. We got one of those. There's a warehouse, a cellar. We got that. And there's an expedition building. It's not expedition. It's the natives. And then beyond that, this is beautification. So we're talking like bushes, street lamps, fences, paths, trees. Your bushes, I guess. And I'm assuming more and more buildings will get added in as we go down the line. You know, I'm sure with militia there'll be probably like a garrison or a barracks or something they build somewhere in town. And move along with that. So looks like all the houses are now full, and I'm really curious what happens. I mean, do they just your people just stop having children at that point, or is there something else? And I know that they've had more than. Well, let's see. They've had 5. That's 15 plus. Yeah, 27. Yeah, okay. So to say, I thought it was 4 to a house, so I thought it was like 12, 24 were the extra 3. Okay, so we're at 27, which I think is pretty much the. Well, it's not. Well, it was the max. Now that we've got another married couple in the house, and this is the Clemens. So are all married couples now housed? Okay, Carlson's, yes. Hodge, yes. Fuller, yes. Clemens, yes. It looks like everybody that's married, mind you, or is a child of a married couple's house. So now we got 4 of the guys, yeah. No, 3 of the guys. No, 4 guys. Sorry, we don't have houses yet. That can be fixed though. It must be very interesting in there, like an apartment or a dormitory with the 4 guys in there. So we have all this happening. The well's getting more water from the rain, so the well does regenerate. I was worried for a little bit that it just ran out of water after a while. But it looks as though when it's not being used, it seems to, well, it gains water when it rains, but I think when it's not being used, it also, maybe during like the night, it generates a small amount of, it regenerates a small amount. Yeah, oh yeah, see, it's regenerating right now. It's also raining too. But hey, I'll take it. And it's not September in the game. And I'm not familiar with the climate of where Plymouth is located up in the New England kind of area, and Massachusetts and such. I have never been up in that area, honestly. At least for a long period of time. I spent some time in New Jersey at one point, but and that was in the months of this, but it's hard to compare that to where Plymouth is. With the climate on the east, it's somewhat different, quite varying from area to area. But from what I understood and from what I see on the news, rain in September would not be uncommon. And there's probably something to be said about like it will get cold and snow, probably later on in the game, like later in October or something. I wish I could save this game, but the save feature for the Prologue is not a thing. So you have to basically start over each time you play the game, which is a bit sad because you like saving progress and then being able to show you guys more. But I think what I'll have to do is play it and get it up to, say, this time, October, and then show you an episode, and the town will probably look, it will look probably a little bit the same. It might look a little bit different with building placement and such. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed Colonize Prologue. I would definitely recommend adding it to your wish list. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. It's crafted very well by people who looked at the history, understand the history, and are trying to recreate it as as accurate as possible. Um, and just a side note, um, this is I'm gonna pivot a little bit to talk about a different game here, but along the same vein, the game Ostriv, which is made by a Ukrainian guy. I don't know if you've noticed, but he put out a short notice that he's okay. He hasn't been able to work on the game, obviously, for different reasons, but he and his team of people working on it are okay. They'll get back to working as soon as possible. But he essentially said, have fun building towns in Austria while they rebuild their own towns in real life over in the Ukraine. So that's just a side note of that guy that who also created a game that lovingly recreates, I guess, 18th century Ukraine, with jobs and certain things being restricted as it was back then. And you've seen Ostrov on this channel many times, and I'll get back to playing that when I can. I was hoping to play it when it gets updated again, but that might be a long time coming. So I might just play it without any updates forthcoming as it is. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and there are a lot of good things coming out in August. Uh, to say that too, there's Farthest Frontier coming out, which looks very, very exciting, and there are a lot of other games that are just on the slate either this year or coming soon, and then Company Heroes to be pre-purchased. So there's a lot of good things coming in the future. Clemens is born, okay. Um, but anyways, I hope, like I said, oh, it's October. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed Colonize. Um, and I'll definitely get it up to October and show you again. I'll try and recreate the town somewhat similar. Um, until next time, this is Rusler logging off.